What's up, YouTube? Tim Moose here. Well, of course, May came and went, and lots of really good and some not so great films I saw in the month of May. I saw pretty much about 35 new movies in May, and some really interesting stuff there. So here is my official May 2025 movie ranking, where of course I talk about like my least favorite films I saw in May and my favorite movies. All right. Starting out with number 35, the worst movie I saw in the month of May. It's probably one of the worst movies of the year so far, and that is Fountain of Youth. Oh boy, I was actually really interested in this one. You got directed by Guy Ritchie. I love John Krasinski. I love Natalie Portman. Holy cow, this is one of the worst movies Apple has put out. And they put out, Argyle, many others. I kid you not, this is worse than Argyle. I would rather sit through Argyle again before I ever sit through this again. It's just like very much like a Indiana Jones ripoff, like a National Treasure ripoff. Probably Guy Ritchie's worst movie since I don't know. King Arthur was terrible, but I'm just calling it right now. This is probably his worst movie he's put out since what was that Madonna one? Yeah, Swept Away. Yeah, I'll be shocked if this thing don't get some Razzies, but anyway. Number 34. Now, it's a little really hard to talk about this because of the tragedy that happened on set. But I'm talking about just the movie itself, not anything to do with the tragedy or whatever. Number 34 is Russ. I still decided to check this out despite the whole tragedy and or. And, I'll give it this. The cinematography, who, of course, sadly, the cinematographer, Helene Hutchinson, did pass away on set here, after you guys probably know what happened with that one. Not really gonna go into much details there, but I will say she actually did really shows how great she did with her job, and the cinematography was actually pretty decent. That's the only good thing about it. The performances wasn't good. It was completely boring throughout. It's just not really a good film, and yeah. Anyway, number 33 is a movie that not many people probably heard of. It's a movie called Bad Influence. It's where this ex-con gets a fresh start when he is hired to protect a wealthy heiress from a stalker. Very similar to, let's say, The Bodyguard in a way. And of course, the chemistry is hard to resist and stuff. It is horrible. Like, this isn't just as bad as, what was those 365 days, or 600, whatever it was called? It's just as bad as that. The chemistry between the two wasn't all that great. It really felt like those romance films like 50 Shades and stuff like that. It just wasn't so good. The performances was terrible. It's not a good film at all. Alright, number 32 is one I was actually interested in, and that is Shadow Force. Of course, this is the action movie directed by Joe Carnahan, which I'm still looking forward to check out the rip when that premieres. Of course, this is like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith like film where Kiara and Isaac were once leaders of a multinational special force group called the Shadow Force. And of course, they broke the rules by falling in love, and in order to protect their son, and of course, with a large bounty on their hands, the vengeful Shadow Force are on their trail, and one family's fight becomes an all-out war. And it has some people in it I do quite like. Like, you had the villain from Black Lightning. He was in this. You had Mark Strong. You had some good cast members that, Divine Joy Randolph coming off of her Oscar win for The Holdovers. Method Man I love, but yeah, no, none of them could save this one. It was just completely terrible. The good action, but that was really it. Performances was so good. The chemistry between the two wasn't all that great. It's not that good of a film. Alright, number 31 is Savable. Now, of course, this is the movie starring Toby Kebbell and Shia LaBeouf. When this boxer's past his prime, finds his dream and his relationship on the ropes, and he falls back in with a dangerous crowd and hopes, and he has to take the biggest swing of his life to reclaim his hope as family. And it's not so good. It's a shame too because I do like Shia LaBeouf, despite him being a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, whatever. I still think Shia LaBeouf is a terrific actor. You know, whether it's like Honey Boy, American Honey, Fury. I mean, the guy I think is always good, but sadly his personal life really takes a toll of his talent. You know, and yeah, this just wasn't that good of a film, which is unfortunate. But all right, number 30 is A Breed Apart. Now I knew this movie was probably going to be terrible, but I still did quite had fun time with the trailer, and so I still checked this one out because it has some people in it I do quite like. You know, you got Hayden Panettiere, which, by the way, if you're hoping to see this movie because Hayden Panettiere is in it, yeah, you're gonna be a little disappointed because you know she barely is even in this one. Like even the poster has Hayden Panettiere's name on it and whatever. She is barely in this thing. I'm like, that's I don't know, that's a little false advertisement. But anyway, you also had the two girls from the movie Fall. Troy Gentile, who you might remember as Barry Goldberg from the Goldbergs. Joey Bragg, who played Joey Rooney on Liv and Maddie. You know, he was in this. You had some really good, interesting people that I do quite enjoy here. But the movie itself wasn't so good. I mean, it was, of course, a remake, like a reboot, if you will, of the 2006 Wes Craven produced Dog movie that had like Michelle Rodriguez in it. This thing just didn't do anything for me. It just wasn't so good. The humor wasn't great. Some of the kills in it was cool, but that's really it. It's not that good a film. So, all right, number 29 is a Netflix film called Extraterritorial. When of course her son vanishes inside a U.S. consulate, ex-Special Forces soldier Sarah does everything she can in her power to find him and uncover the dark conspiracy. And it's not really that good either. Some of the action was pretty good, but it was just completely boring. Didn't really do anything to. It just really didn't do anything for me. It's not that good a film, sadly to say. All right, number 28 is California King. Now, this movie has the likes of Victoria Justice, Jimmy Tatro, where, of course, like this guy's childhood crush, played by Victoria Justice, announces she's leaving town, and so he and his reckless best friend, pretty much have a harebrained scheme to rescue her younger brother from a fake kidnapping, only to accidentally be pulled off into a real one. You also got like Joe McHale, Jimmy Tatro. You got some people in this that I really do quite enjoy, but the humor wasn't all that great. The performances was terrible. Did not care much for the characters. It's just not that good a film, so it's unfortunate there. All right, number 27 is a movie called Going Places. Now, this movie is about like three high school graduates who face the true test of their friendship when they become entangled in a deadly crime ring in Brogo. You also had like Chloe East, who was seen in that movie Hereric last year. You also had Ethan Kafowski, obviously best known for playing Carl Gallagher on Shameless. He's also in the new Happy Gilmore film, so pretty cool to see him and stuff here. I mean, you have some people in this I do quite enjoy, but the movie itself just wasn't all that good. I did not care much for the characters at all. It was completely boring throughout. It's not that good of a film. Alright, number 26 is Unit 234. Now, this movie stars orphan star Isabelle Fuhrman, where like she discovers comatose man Clayton in Unit 234 of her family's storage facility. And of course, she drills. It transpires to drill cat and mouse game for Lori and Clayton to survive the night. It's also not so good. The performances isn't so great. I mean, it's also from the director of Hitch, Andy Tennant. So it's really interesting to see him tackling like a little bit of a horror spare here. But it's still not a good one at all. You also have like Don Johnson. Yeah, Jack Houston was also in this. You had some really decent people, but yeah, it's just not really that good. All right, number 25 is a horror film I actually thought the trailers looked really decent for, but the movie itself didn't really do anything for me, and that is Rosario. Directed by famed Mexican director Felipe Vargas, where like Rosario returns to her grandmother's apartment after her sudden death, and of course she discovers a hidden chamber that's filled with occult artifacts, and it's not really good either. It's not all that scary. Lots of pointless jump scares. The script wasn't all that great. It's shame too because you got people like David DeMacklin who I like, but the movie itself, yeah, not really that great. Hopefully, the director will direct something better in the future because he definitely has some good directing skills, but this definitely wasn't it. All right, number 24 is The Surrender. Now, of course, this is the new Shudder horror film, which I really wanted to like this because I thought the trailers were pretty decent. It was completely boring. I had no idea what the heck was going on in this thing. It wasn't all that scary. It stars Kobe Menifee, who's of course been on The Boys. Kate Dickey's also in this. It's sort of like a mother-daughter relationship is put to a terrifying test when the family patriarch passes, and of course the mother hires a mysterious stranger to bring her husband back from the dead. Again, it's not really that scary. Nothing about it was all that interesting. Shudder could be really good when it wants to be, but not all the time they turn anything into go. So, alright. Number 23 is an anime film called The Rose of Versailles. Now, this was actually okay. I mean, the animation for this was pretty good. It's more like Marie Antoinette and her protector, Oscar Francois, faces true choices as a woman growing into distant roles. I thought the animation was pretty cool. The scenery was decent. I thought it was a really nice anime worth giving a go. Number 22 is Sharp Corner. Now, Sharp Corner stars Ben Foster, who I love Ben Foster, where he plays like a dedicated family man who becomes obsessed with saving the lives of a car accident victims. Very similar to that movie Crash, but less risque, you know. But yeah, Kobe Smulders I thought was pretty good in this. Ben Foster. I've been saying it for a while. Ben Foster is one of the most underrated, underappreciated actors in the business. It's such a shame he doesn't really get recognized that much because I think the guy is terrific, and here he was great. It's a really decent little film worth giving a go. Alright, number 21 is On Swift Horses. I thought this was just okay. I mean, it of course takes place in the 1950s, where newlywed and her wayward brother-in-law undertake parallel journeys of risk, romance, and self-discovery. You got Daisy Edgar-Jones, Jacob Elordi, Will Poulter, Sasha Calle. I think the performances was really decent. Great. Like Daisy was great. Of course, Diego Calva and Jacob Elordi's chemistry is pretty good. Really, really good directorial debut by what's the director's name again? Daniel. Daniel Minahan. He did a good job making his directorial debut with this. Really good film, worth giving a go. All right, number 20 is a film that not many people probably heard of. It's called The Comic Shop. Now, The Comic Shop stars the likes of Jesse Metcalfe. You also got Tristan Mays, who you might remember as the female lead from that reboot of MacGyver. I actually thought this was a pretty fun little film. It's more like this comic shop owner who thinks his dreams are over until he meets Brandon, and together with his friend Alex, they reinvent their passion and save save each other here. And it's a really decent coming of age tale. The chemistry between like both Brandon and Jesse Metcalfe was pretty decent. Like they're like big brother, little brother. They're not really brothers in it, but they really have like a brotherly bond throughout. It's a really decent film, worth giving a go. Definitely has a little bit of like a Kevin Smith feel to it. Of course, definitely has a little bit of like it really did feel like, let's say, Clerks, at a comic book shop. It's actually a watchable film worth giving a go. All right, number 19. I was a little late to the party with this one, and that is Legend of Ochi. And I actually thought it was pretty decent. That Ochi character, really adorable. Willem Dafoe was great in this. Helena Zango was good. Love the visuals. I thought it was a real, let's say if A24 and Disney got together to make a film here, this is what we get. This movie is pretty much a Disney movie if A24 made it. That's what I really go of it as, and it's a really decent one, worth giving a go. All right, number 18 is another film I was a little late to the party for, and that is The Friend. Now, of course, this stars Naomi Watts, who plays like the solitary writer who adopts and bonds with a Great Dane that belongs to like a late friend, and she begins to she turns with her past and her own creative inner life. I mean, the Great Dane, I've always loved Great Danes, maybe because I'm a Scooby Doo guy and I love Scooby Doo, but I still always love Great Danes here. Never had a Great Dane, but the Great Danes are some of the biggest dogs you'll see, you know? And of course, Bill Murray, he's not really in it too much because, spoiler, his character does die in it. But he mostly is show mostly through flashbacks, and stuff like that. And Bill Murray and Naomi Watts were both pretty decent. Um, really decent film worth giving a go. Alright, number 17 is another Shudder film, and that is The Ugly Stepsister. This is, of course, the Cinderella-like story, where, like, beauty is the brutal business where Elvira battles to compete with her incredibly beautiful stepsister. And this is, of course, a body horror movie, and it is insane. I mean, the costumes, by the way, is pretty good. Um, Maybe a better Cinderella horror film than Cinderella's Revenge, you know? It is pretty gory throughout. I mean, I'm there was actually talks about, like, at screenings here, people was given barf bags. I mean, I don't know why, nothing about really screen barf bags, but okay. I mean, I'm someone who likes Terrifier, so hey, uh, Terrifier is a little more gory, to be honest. Yeah, but still, it's actually, The Ugly Stepsister is a pretty decent one, worth giving a go. A little slow at times, but it's actually not a bad one. Alright, number 16 is Another Simple Favor. I thought Another Simple Favor, like, not as good as the first film. I still think the first movie is a little better. But I still thought the sequel was pretty decent. I still love Blake Lively, despite the whole Blake Lively, Jason Baldoni, whatever. I still think Blake Lively is great, and she's pretty good in this. Anna Kendrick is terrific. Elizabeth Perkins, I thought was excellent in this. I think she deserves an Emmy nomination. Elizabeth Perkins, out of everyone, Elizabeth Perkins definitely gave the better performance in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, it's a really decent one, and they're talking about possible Dirt film. I'll be down to see a Dirt one. All right, number 15. I of course just saw this one this week, and that is Mountainhead. Now, of course, this is where like a group of billionaire friends get together against the backdrop of a rolling international crisis. And it's, of course, the directorial debut by Succession creator Jesse Armstrong. And it's actually a really decent film, worth giving a go. Steve Carell, Corey Michael Smith, Jason Schwartzman, some really decent supporting players. Really good film, worth giving a go. I mean, this dialogue's really good. Great script. I guarantee you this is going to get some Emmy love come Emmy time. All right, number 14. This is going to be unpopular to say, but I don't care what you say, is it unpopular or not. Fear Street Prom Queen. Now, this is not like the best out of the Fear Street movies. It definitely has some of its problems, but I had a fun time with this. I thought, some of the kills was pretty cool. I was really entertained by it. The performances isn't strong, but hey, I don't go into these movies expecting good performances. Let's be real. Of course, you got Susanna Sun, who I love in Red Rocket. Chris Klein. I thought it was a really decent a really decent Fear Street movie, and I'm definitely looking forward to see more. I mean, bring me some more Fear Street movies, All right, number 13 is the Mickey Mouse or Steamboat Willie horror film Screamboat. Now, there's been other Mickey Mouse horror movies like The Mouse House. Not The Mouse Hunt and all. Oh no, not The Mouse Hunt. The Mouse Trap. My bad. That's how poorly bad that is. I couldn't even remember the name. But Screamboat is definitely the better one. I had a fun time with this thing. The kills was great. David Harron Thornton plays Mickey Mouse in this, or Steamboat, I should say. And David Harron Thornton, this is the guy who plays Art the Clown, the Grinch, and now Mickey Mouse. Talk about a really cool, talk about a cool career he's been having in the horror spirit, And yeah, I actually thought it was a really decent one. Definitely can't wait for the sequel whenever that hits. So yeah. All right, number 12 is The Surfer. Now, of course, this does star Nicolas Cage, as like this man who returns to the beach of his childhood to surf with his son, and he is humiliated by a group of locals who are the worst, by the way. And the man is drawn into a conflict that keeps rising and pushes him into the breaking point. Nicolas Cage goes crazy throughout this. I mean, it's always great to see a crazy Nick Cage, and he really shows his like strength perfectly here. The performances was great. The guy who played OG Doctor Doom, Julian McMahon, he was terrific in this. It's a really decent one worth getting to go. All right, number 11 is Fight or Flight, which is pretty much like, let's say, Bullet Train on a plane. I feel like Bullet Train's gonna become the next Die Hard. You remember how, like, back in the 90s, after Die Hard, they did stuff like, Die Hard on a mountain, Die Hard on a bus, and stuff like that. I feel like we're gonna be seeing stuff like Bullet Train related content, like Bullet Train on a plane or whatever. And of course, you got like Josh Hartnett was great in this. The action and violence is awesome. I mean, I actually had a fun time with this thing, and it's well worth a watch. Alright, now here is my official top 10. Number 10, Bring Her Back. Now, of course, Bring Her Back is the new horror movie from the directors of Talk to Me. I still haven't done my review for it yet. I'll post out sometime this week. But Bring Her Back is a really decent horror film worth giving a go. Of course, follows like the death of her of their father, a brother and sister are introduced to their new sibling by their foster mother. And of course, there's like a terrifying secret throughout. Sally Hawkins. This is probably Sally Hawkins' best performance since Shape of Water. Like, she hasn't been this good since Shape of Water, to be honest, yeah. And she really nails it here. The one who plays like the kids in this was good. The one who plays like the oldest, Billy Barrett, I think his name is. He was really good here. Really creepy throughout. It's not as good as Talk to Me, though. I would admit that. But it's still a really decent one worth giving a go. Alright. Number 9 is Nonas. Nonas is, of course, the new Vince Vaughn film, directed by Wonder director and Perks of Being a Wallflower director Steven Chbosky. It's where, of course, this man, played by Vince Vaughn, risks everything to honor her by opening an Italian restaurant with actual Nonas, grandmas as chefs. Nonas is a really nice little comedy worth giving a go. Of course, you had the likes of loads of Sopranos actors. You had Lorraine Bracco. You also had Drea Di Matteo. Like, if you're a fan of The Sopranos, definitely you're gonna want to watch this because it has tons of Sopranos actors. Also, you got Susan Sarandon. It is really heartfelt. As an Italian, as someone who is Italian, I could definitely relate to Vince Vaughn's here, and definitely the Italians almost like as someone who's live in New York and stuff like that. It is so accurate with this film. Number 8 is Summer of '69. Now, of course, this is the directorial debut by Jillian Bell, starring Chloe Fineman, who, after seeing this, I want to see Chloe Fineman lead more films. Like, if she, God forbid she leaves SNL, whatever, I do hope to see her lead, like, a film, a new series, or whatever. I adore Chloe Fineman. I think she's terrific. Now, of course, you also got Sam Morris, who's also best known for, that 90s show. You also had, like, Charlie Day, Matt Cornett, Liza Koshy. Got some good cast members in this. Much better than Hattie Attention Bing. Of course, this is where, like, this high school named Abby hires, like, this dancer named Santa Monica to teach her everything she needs to know about confidence and, doing the deeds and stuff, because she wants to, like, get with with her crush here. And it's actually a really decent film. Really brings me back to like the American Pie eras and stuff like that. Really shows that raunchy teen comedies can still work today. Between this and Incoming, I feel like people say that like raunchy comedies can't work today and whatever. I feel like they could still work. Like Incoming, last year on Netflix was pretty funny. Summer '69 was just as funny. I feel like they could still work in the 2020s, but anyway. All right, number 7 is Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. I actually had a fun time with this. Like, I didn't love it as most people did, but I still thought it was entertaining. It's not my favorite out of the franchise, nothing like that, but it was still really good. Tom Cruise, you could trust him one last time. I still won't be surprised if we hear news of another Mission Impossible happening, but who knows? I mean, it's still really this one worth giving a go. And if it is, of course, officially the last one, they went out with a bang here. Um, the plane scene, boy, Tom Cruise is just the guy's in his 60s and he still does these stunts well. So yeah, really good. And of course, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, so many great people here. All right, number 6 is, speaking of someone who does his own stunts, number 6 is Karate Kid Legends with Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio. I adore this film a lot. I mean, I know it did not really get the best reviews and whatever, but I still thought it was a really decent one, worth giving a go. The kid Ben Wang, he is a star to keep your eye out for. Ralph Macchio, again, he doesn't really have much. Like, he doesn't really show up until towards the end, really, or towards the middle here. So he's not in it as much. But hey, it was still cool to see him in this nonetheless. It is really decent. A really decent Cry Kid, worth giving a go. Fingers crossed we get another one, but who knows? I mean, it's just really felt like a Cobra Kai movie at times, but obviously not really a Cobra Kai movie. But yeah. All right, number 5 is Friendship. Of course, this is the film where like a suburban dad falls hard for his charismatic new neighbor, and it is terrific. The chemistry between Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd's great. The direction is really good. The comedy is great. I mean, it's not really like horror, obviously, or anything, but definitely had some horror elements at times. And Tim Robinson is just. I still got to check. I still got to check out that show he has on Netflix. I've always heard good things about that. Never got around to watching that. I really should get that one go someday. But yeah, Friendship is a really, really great one, worth giving a go. All right, number 4 is Clown in the Cornfield. Of course, the horror film about obviously about clowns in a cornfield here, where of course like Quinn and her father have moved into a quiet town in Cal Springs, and she discovers like a community that has fallen on hard times after a treasured corn syrup factory burned down. And of course, a clown named Frenzo is out to take people one by one. And I just quite enjoyed this one a whole lot. The kills was great, directed by Tucker and Dale director Eli Craig. It's a really fun film, worth giving a go. Fingers crossed we get some sequels because they do have there is more books in the series. So yeah, and Katie Douglas, by the way, I cannot wait to see her in more horror. Like, I know she is best known for that show Genie in Georgia and whatever, but I hope we see her in more horror down the line because she's definitely a scream queen to keep your eye out for. All right, number 3 is Leo and Stitch. Now I know it's getting some controversy because of the ending, whatever, but I don't care. I thought Leo and Stitch was excellent. The little girl in this was really great. Of course, like the one who plays like the older sister, was really good too. Stitch was adorable. I just thought this movie was excellent in every sense, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a sequel to this as well. Maybe a live action Leroy and Stitch. How cool would that be? All right. Number 2 is Thunderbolts. Of course, I saw Thunderbolts about 3 times this month. It is awesome. It's just entertaining. Florence Pugh, Elena, by the way, it's literally probably my favorite MCU character they introduced since Endgame. She is just so awesome here. Sentry is of course great, played by Lewis Pullman. The humor, action was great. It's a really decent one, worth giving a go. And my number 1 favorite movie of May is none other than Final Destination: Bloodlines. I also saw this one 3 times in theaters this month. It is a lot of fun. Of course, it is becoming one of the highest grossing Final Destination films of all time. The kills was great. Seeing Tony Todd one last time was really heartfelt. I just quite enjoyed this one a whole lot, and it's it's a great one. I just adored it. Can't wait for more Final Destination movies because guarantee we're gonna get some more after this. Hopefully, we don't have to wait another like 10 or 15 years for the next one, but I'm sure we're gonna get another one like maybe 3 or 2 years or whatever. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. 35 Fountain of Youth, 34 Rust, 33 Bad Influence, 32 Shadow Force, 31 Saveable, 30 Breed Apart, 29 Extraterritorial, 28 California King, 27 Going Places, 26 Unit 234, 25 Rosario, 24 the Surrender, 23 The Rose of Versailles, 22 Sharp Corner, 21 on Swift Horses, 20 The Comic Shop, 19 The Legend of Oche, 18 The Friend, 17 The Ugly Stepsister, 16 Another Simple Favor, 15 Mountain Head, 14 Fear Street Prom Queen, 13 Screamboat, 12 The Surfer, 11 Fight or Flight, 10 Bring Her Back, 9 Nonas, 8 Summer 69, 7 Mission Possible Final Reckoning, 6 Karate Kid Legends, 5 Friendship, 4 Clown in the Cornfield, 3 Lilo and Stitch, 2 Thunderbolts, and number 1 Final Destination Bloodlines. Let me ask you guys, what were some of your favorite and some of your least favorite movies you saw in the month of May? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy signing off.